decided that I needed to do this. I needed to help people.
Nice.
I need to help God. I love them.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, even in our business, from day one, Josh and I always had a coach. We hired action coach, we joined masterminds. We had the skill, the marketing skills, the SEO and all that stuff, the website building, and we knew a little bit about business, but there was that you always need someone there to hold you accountable.
That's the word.
Yeah.
And people say, what's so different? You know, what makes you different from all the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Great companies. There are really great groups out there. Lack of accountability.
Yeah.
When you're the owner, who holds you accountable?
Yeah.
You're the owner.
Yeah. Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, I'll take what money I want out of the business.
Yeah.
I'll do this. You don't realize you're your own worst enemy.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that we're coming in and we're your boss, but we're going to hold you accountable. We have weekly accountability sessions. I just got off an accountability session where we're getting ready for fourth quarter push and already starting to plan for next year.
Nice.
Half these guys are like, why would we plan for next year?
Right.
It's not January yet.
Exactly.
Dude.
It's already too late.
Dude, come on. It's
Yeah.
too right. It's
Absolutely.
too late.
You know, as a business owner, it's scary because you hold all the cards, right? You have to be able to take care of your customers. You have to be able to know about marketing. You have to be able to know about customer service. You have to train your people. And you have to know your accounting. If you don't have the right people in the right places, it's a setup for failure.
And if you don't plan for it, so there's a difference between planning and action,
Mm-hmm.
right? So everybody comes up with a dream or a goal. I say to guys, well, what do you want to do next year? Oh, we're going to do 2.5, 8 million, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Great. What's the plan to get there?
Yeah, exactly.
And they go, well, we're going to add some more trucks, or, you know, we'll raise our prices, whatever. I'm like, that's not a plan.
Yeah, it sounds like a setup for failure.
Yeah, it's a wish.
Yeah, wish.
I wish this would happen.
You know, it goes back to goal setting. It's when Josh and I, again, going back to the beginning when we first started, one of the big things that we always had in common, and I think it's the reason we meshed and started this business, is we both knew that goal setting was the most important thing, and having a plan of action. Mm-hmm. And early on in my career, I always heard about goal setting. You got to write them down. And I was like, why do I need to write them down? I know what they are. But a goal that's not written down is a dream. Right? It's not reality.
So we have a saying, if anybody out there is with the Service Profit Group, you know what I'm about to say. If it's not written, it's not real.
Perfect.
End of story.
T-shirt.
If it's not written, it's not real.
Yeah,
End of story.
that's so true.
Oh, and our other saying is, this is a bullshit-free zone.
Exactly. So, I mean, been around the industry a while, plumbing and HVAC, contractors.
Electricians.
Yep. There's no shortage of coaching. There's QSC, PHCC, Nexstar, Service Roundtable, private coaches, SGI. What makes you different?
The big difference is accountability. The biggest difference is accountability. For anybody who thinks that any of these systems teaches something different, we all really don't. It's really the same mindset
Mm-hmm.
going in. Now, granted, there is the way the message is delivered.
Mm-hmm.
We do it more tactilely on site, like we've come here on site.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of on site, a lot of Zoom, weekly Zoom, constantly in contact.
Yeah.
Not, hey, do this and we'll check your homework.
Right.
Kind of thing. So the accountability, I think, is the number one thing that separates us from most other groups.
Cool. Yeah, I see you on Facebook a lot. I see you travel from here to here. It's like you're always on the road. You're always with your customers, and I think that's what kind of separates you from the others. There's a lot of a lack of good service in every industry, mm-hmm. and even when we had coaches early on, it was like we'd meet 1 month and then we wouldn't hear or see them until the following month, and there was no accountability, and it really wasn't that great.
Well, that's one of the reasons that you and I are actually sitting here,
mm-hmm.
is because I recognize that in you and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
When we first started this, I mean, look, there are other companies out there, marketing companies.
Mm-hmm.
I recognize with you guys that you do goal set.
Yep.
And you do hold people accountable.
Yep.
And I thought, you know what? The visions are aligned. That's why I sought you guys out,
right.
and we kind of created this strategic kind of alignment partnership.
Nice. That's
So
cool.
that's one of the things that we have a lot in common, is that accountability piece and the goal setting.
Awesome. So in every business there's a thing called KPIs, but I noticed you call them something a little different. You call them KTIs. Explain.
So a KTI is a key training indicator. And what I did is, years ago I realized that everybody's big on KPIs. Hey, what's our conversion rate? What's our CSR conversion rate? What's our average ticket? I'm like, these are all great numbers to know, but what do you do with them? All right, so your conversion rate's down. What does that mean? So I would hear owners go to technicians and go, hey, you guys, you have to sell more. You're not doing a good enough job. Well, how much more does he have to sell? And how does he get better at doing it?
Right.
So I started analyzing KPIs, key performance indicators, and I found a direct correlation between certain training needs and those KPIs. So I started calling it KTIs, key training indicators. And for example, conversion rate. Conversion rate is a direct result of your technicians, or not yours, but technicians, not creating a relationship with the customer. Literally, no relationship. And I'll bet if you have a technician with a low conversion rate and you track his time on jobs for no sales, I'll bet you any amount of money it's half an hour or less.
Yeah.
How do you create a relationship in half an hour?
Yeah, you can't. And in the home service industry, God, there's such an opportunity to explode your business because everyone's doing the same thing, just enough to get by.
Yeah.
And what I find is when I talk to some of these guys, when we talk about, doing a service and one of the things reviews. I need reviews, and often I hear is I'm giving out the cards, I'm sending out the request, but I'm not getting any back. And my thing is always, maybe you're not doing a good job. Well, I'm showing up on time.
Okay, everybody does that now.
Exactly.
So you have to differentiate yourself, and you have to give wow service. And part of that, you look at your conversion rates, and you start training your techs on building a relationship, asking questions. If you have low tickets, look at your pricing. Is your pricing correct?
Yeah.
Is your technician offering options, or is he still giving the good, better, best, or the Cadillac Band-Aid?
Right.
By the way, I'm sorry, times have changed. That shit's out the window.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Zig Ziglar was one of the best in the business. I mean, one of the greatest salesmen in the world. Everything he did was written in the 1950s, when the buying person in the home was a housewife with her husband's money.
Right.
Husband didn't even want to be involved in it.
Right.
Now everybody's educated, more educated. They have the internet at their fingertips, and God forbid YouTube. Everybody thinks they can do it themselves.
Oh yeah.
You have to change the way you approach your customer, and you have to come at them with wow service. And the only way to do that is to analyze your KPIs and train accordingly.
Yeah, and I think the companies that really emphasize on the wow service, like there's a company out in San Diego, Anderson's Plumbing and Heating.
Yeah.
She is all about, wow is on everything. Wow, we give wow service. I think that's what differentiates her, because the customer actually sees that. And if you're putting it out there in a public space, you better deliver. And I think they deliver.
So here's the funny thing. I go into a lot of companies on site, and we talk about a company trust statement. So, something you can say to the customer to make them understand how great your company is. And it has nothing to do with we're the best, we're the most trained, none of that.
Right.
It's about we're going to give you 100% customer satisfaction, or you don't have to pay for it.
Nice.
And owners freak out.
Oh,
They're like, Joe, we can't have our technicians say that.
Right.
Why not? You're going to do it anyway.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
If a customer is unhappy and they call you, chances are you're giving money back anyway.
Yeah.
So why not it's amazing to me how many people won't do that.
I think they're afraid because they think everyone's bad and everyone's gonna try to take advantage
That's
of it.
what they say.
But the reality is, you're gonna have some bad seeds, but there's so very few of them.
They concentrate on that little percent of the bad seeds, plus they know they're not giving wow service.
Yeah.
So they know they are not doing that.
Yeah.
Anderson, they give wow service. I've heard of them.
Yeah, they heard good things about them. I want to give a perspective from a customer standpoint, and one of my pet peeves is down here in South Florida, and I think it's nationwide. I think that overall in the home service industry, there's a stigma that, oh my God, who am I choosing? Am I going to get bad service? And I'm nervous about it. And I know down here in South Florida, it's off the charts crazy. I mean, I've purchased a new house a couple of years ago, had a lot of different service guys come in, and 2 out of 20 were decent. Most ripped me off, and just had bad experiences with them. And you can tell right away. Just recently, I had a company come in to do some service in my home, and all they did the whole time was bitch and moan about the company they work for.
Okay.
So, you know, if that's happening, that's just awful. You know, it's like, you're in my house now and you're complaining about your company and it's so cheesy. And it goes back to training, doesn't it?
There's a culture that you have to create,
Mm-hmm.
all right? And it is a training culture, especially with millennials now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can create a culture of training and of safety,
Yeah.
one of the things we teach is how to change company culture.
Mm-hmm.
And employees are looking to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know they're safe. And part of that is being trained. If you're putting time and energy into training somebody,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? They're going to stay longer.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and they change the culture and they feel better and it comes across. It's an
Yeah.
attitude. You know what I mean?
I think they also want to be acknowledged, right? It's like the world
Sure.
has changed.
Well,
And,
everybody does.
you know, when I was working for a company years and years ago, it was a different mindset then. This is before the internet. It's like
We're a little older.
yeah. You were treated like
You're
you're
much
lucky to
older.
have a job. You know, you're lucky to be working here.
Yeah.
That doesn't work anymore, and it's unfortunate, but I still see companies operating that way, where the owner is an older generation and comes from the standpoint of, well, you're lucky to have a job, and what I see in the plumbing industry especially is there's a massive shortage of finding good workers.
Big time.
How do these guys get around the mindset of you're lucky to have a job, and how do they find good people?
So that's a great point. It's called, do you know what an axiom is?
Mm-hmm.
An axiom is a belief that is passed down either through generations or skill sets or from boss to employee.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that axiom of, you know, you're lucky to have a job,
Mm-hmm.
it got passed down.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of guys who, when I talk to them and I say, well, let me ask you a question. Why would you say to somebody, do this because I told you to,
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, do this because it will do this for us?
Right.
Right? Give them the why.
Right.
And that's the new thing that helps culture, and fighting the axiom, Dean, is rough.
Yeah, it is.
And it's, you know what, it's in every industry. It really is. It's not just ours.
It's not
But
just-
with a shortage that we have of skilled plumbers, technicians, do you know that, I don't know what year it was, but America used to lead the way for welders, steel workers and
Mhm.
welders.
Sure.
Now we have to go to Spain and Italy to get them.
Yeah.
And that's a job
Why is
that pays $100,000 a year like that.
Huh.
You know? And plumbers, I don't get it. Plumbers, my guys that worked for me were making $85,000, $90,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right out of trade school.
Yeah.
So,
You know, when I went to school, way back in the 80s, in my high school, they had a program, like they had a full auto shop in there,
Yeah.
and guys would be working in the auto shop, and they had systems where, like, I had a friend who was a carpenter, and he worked 4 hours a day as a carpenter and 4 hours a day in a high school. This is the 8th
Like a work
grade.
trade program.
Like a work trade program, and
Wow.
they did that for electricians, and they did that for all those trades. I don't think they have that anymore.
I don't know if they do. I know there are certain schools that are available to train people, but I don't think they're doing it at the high
Yeah.
school level. Like, you know, my son he's in middle school, getting ready to go to high school, and he's taking robotics
Mm-hmm.
and Chinese. I don't get it. It's what he wanted to do,
Right.
but you know, like,
He wants to build Chinese robots.
and that's the best place to build them, I hear. So I don't know.
So, you work with a lot of companies, a lot of
Yep.
plumbing and HVAC companies.
Yep.
You do a lot of on-sites, you do a lot of talking. I know you have great relationships with your customers. I know
try
some
to.
of your customers, Frankie Roman, some of these guys talk really great about you. You have a very personal relationship with them. And so I think what are some of the things that you see as their biggest struggles?
Oof. The biggest struggle I'm seeing right now is not understanding the correlation between marketing and conversion.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of guys who think, if I'm paying a marketing company X amount of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
someone told me I should get X amount return.
Right.
Okay. But they don't, and that's all they do. Hey, I paid you X amount, but I didn't get that.
Yeah.
They don't go further and go, how's my phone being answered, and how many calls am I booking? And when I come in, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'll admit that. I'm a little gruff, all right? But when I come in, first, we do a deep dive and see these things. Their CSRs are converting at 40%. All right? So if they're spending $10,000 a month, $6,000 just went in the trash because the person answering the phone sucks wind.
Right.
And then out of that 40% that went to the field, their techs are converting at 50%. So out of that $4,000, 2,000 more is going in the trash. And they're going to come, and they always, look, I got to tell you something. You guys get shit on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Because first thing they say is, Joe, can you help me with my marketing company? I'm not a marketing guy.
Right.
Well, let's see what's going on. And when I dive in, I go, well, wait a minute. You're converting at 40% on the phone and 50% in the field. And they go, yeah, so? Well, it's $6,000 out of your $10,000 in the garbage.
Right.
And it had nothing to do with your marketing company.
Right.
And once they see that and we start training them, that's where I love it. That's the magic. That's like the aha moment.
Yeah.
When they call me and go, well, one, they had to raise their prices. Most of them have to raise their prices. They're underpriced. And they'll call up and they'll say, hey, we just had our first $10,000 week. And I go, really? That's it? And they go, no, that was 110. I'm like, holy
Nice.
shit, he listened.
Yeah, that's good.
And I love that stuff. But the biggest struggle is the correlation between the conversion rates and the marketing.
Right.
And I feel bad for you guys, because not just you, marketing companies in general, because, hey, marketing's not the silver bullet, guys. You got to work it in the field. You got to give wow service. You have to give 100% customer satisfaction.
Yeah, no doubt. It's. I put everything on that scale. I mentioned it. You sat in our team meeting this morning, and I mentioned it to my team. I look at everything on a scale. I look at everything has to be even to be perfect. And I think if you're a company that provides amazing service, where you're going out there, you're killing it, and you're doing a great job, but your customer service is not great, in the plumbing and HVAC, it's a little different than in our business, where we work with the same customers every single month on kind of a retainer. But if our customer service is fabulous, but our results are not good, the customer will stay a little bit, but in time they can't, because you can't keep spending and not getting.
Sure.
So they'll leave. And if it's the other way, where they're our customer service is great and we're creating this great the other way, where we're providing great results, they're getting tons of phone calls, but you're not talking to them, they're going to stay after a while, but then the seeds will be planted from the other company saying whatever they say, and they'll leave. I think you have to have the scale. And that's kind of what we practice here, is provide great service, provide great results, and the customer will stay with you forever. And I think that's across the board. A plumbing company can apply that, a HVAC company, electricians, lawns, whatever can apply that.
Well, when we decided together to create the AME program, and which I thought was genius on your guys' part, and I'm glad we were a part of it, I thought, that is the best way. If you can even out the scales, you don't have to be way up here with one thing, just even out the scales and give them that complete cohesive package.
Right.
It's, you're going to keep them for a long time. You're going to make them happy, and that's, and this is the other thing I love about you and Josh. You care about the customer.
Yeah.
And say, all I care about is my members. I call them team members, not even clients. Our team members, all I care about is their profitability. Volume is vanity, and profit is sanity. I don't give a shit if you're doing $5 million. If you're only keeping 2% of it, you got something wrong there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you're doing $3 million and you're keeping 21%, ooh, now we're talking.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's what I love about you guys, because you do look for that. You look for that middle ground, like, let's keep the customer happy, let's do the job, and let's make them profitable and grow them.
Right.
That's what you talked about this morning. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're about.
We've changed our entire philosophy on how we want to handle our customer base. And what we're doing now is we're saying that we are going to triple the sales of 1,000 plumbing and HVAC companies in the next 10 years. And so we're keeping a tracker. Everyone in the company knows that's the goal. And it's not, you know, how are we going to make more money? How are we going to get more customers? You know, we're going to get you on page 1 of Google. It's none of that. It's we're going to triple the sales of 1,000 plumbing and HVAC companies. If we can triple the sales of them, it's going to change their worlds.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's talk a little bit about KPIs. You know, how does KPIs run your business?
So, you mean their business?
Their business.
So KPIs are key performance indicators. You can come up with hundreds of them. I consider the top 3 to be technician conversion rate, average ticket, and if you have maintenance plan sales as a percentage, a ratio. And then you can throw in CSR conversion rate as well. If you're managing those and training on those. So I'm horrible with math, I always need a calculator, but let me try this. So if you're at, let's say, $1 million, right? But your CSRs are only converting at 40%. Imagine if you got them to some kind of an industry standard, which is about 80-85%. How many more calls your techs are going to run, right?
Right.
So even if your techs are sucking wind in the field, and they're running more calls, you're going to make more money.
Yep.
Now imagine if you put that money into training your CSRs, and they do that. And then you concentrate on the technician. 5% more money. Or maybe you get them to do solution-based options. You raise their average ticket. Your material costs, your labor costs, and you control those KPIs. So you just brought the top line up, right?
Right.
And the bottom line down, right?
Right.
And now you have more money in here. Oh, it's so beautiful in that area.
Nice.
And that's what we try and do.
I love that area.
I love that area.
What about, I mean, you talk about a lot about numbers and conversion rates and all that stuff.
So good we're on camera.
Do you ever get into the area of, and we touched on customer service a little, of customer service training? Because it's not just technicians in the field. There are other parts of a plumbing and HVAC company, from the first person that answers the phone call, and I've heard some scary ones over the years. I mean, that's the first impression right there. And you get that bad taste in your mouth, like, hello, or...
So there are 3 areas we concentrate on. CSRs. First impression to your customer.
Yep.
They actually make a buying decision almost right on that phone call.
Yes, they do.
There's a direct correlation between if you listen to the great phone calls where the customer feels at ease and they feel like they called the right place, and the CSR really took care of them, to the sale. And the technician has so much easier time.
Absolutely.
So we concentrate on everything from the CSR to the technicians, service managers, and leaders.
Okay. And I'm sure you have different programs designed for the different levels of a company.
We do. We actually design the program first on their need. So we do this deep dive and we do a 1-month fact finding.
Nice.
So for a month you work with us and we're going to figure out where the problems are, where the money is left on the table, and what kind of work you need. So first we figure that out. Then once we figure that out, we look at a budget that's comfortable for you, and we'll try and come somewhere that'll help. Doesn't always work out. Look, there are some companies who need a whole lot of help, but they just don't have the budget for it. But we do. We have several different programs, and we also hold ourselves accountable. I believe we're the only company who does that.
Nice.
Every 6 months, so we do a deep dive, which gives you a score. Every 6 months, we do the deep dive again. And if that score is not moving up, why keep paying us?
Yeah.
And it's not like we lock you into like, hey, you're with us for a year or 10 years.
Right.
You pay month by month.
Right.
You
That's
know?
good.
You're either looking to grow or you're not.
Exactly.
And the good news is, since we started in January, we have all but 1 original member.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a very high retention rate. All of our members are starting to see major profitability, which some of our members haven't been profitable in years.
Wow, and that's changed.
Yeah, and it's like, I get high off of it. I get so high off of their profitability.
That's really
That's
cool.
why we started. I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love
it's
working
the perfect role for you. I mean, when I remember when I first met you just a few years back at a QSC event.
Oh God,
I
yes.
looked at Josh and I said, "This guy's a maniac."
I think you called me a schmuck. I think you did.
No, but I think you're great at what you do. There's very few people who care at the level that you do, and
Well, thanks. I'm glad you noticed.
you're absolutely. I mean, I know some of your clients. I know how much they love you. I think you do a great job. That's why you say you partnered up with
Team
us, and
members.
that's why we
We don't have clients. We
Yeah,
have team
team
members
members.
because we all help each other.
Yeah.
I heard a coach, and I'm not saying it was bad, but he talked about how he was going to change the lives of these people. And you know what? I'd like to believe that I will someday change someone's life. But our team changes our lives because when they do well, I feel like I've really accomplished something. Like I did my job. I love it.
Yeah.
And they change our lives, and I love it. And no, I'm not a schmuck. I know you thought I
No,
was a
I never
schmuck.
thought that. I think your energy is awesome. I think you do a great job. Happy
Thanks.
to be partnered up with you. And
As
you know,
always.
Joe, we hired Joe on to build a training program for our account managers now.
Strategic partners.
And I see night and day from where they were to where they are today, and it's really helped us with our clients. So
I do appreciate you guys forwarding me the emails.
yeah,
But yeah, I love it, when your clients are like, hey, we come back here,
right.
because I want to keep them going. I want to keep them doing great stuff.
Yeah, they're excited. And I think when people are trained and they're on the phone with a customer, you got to know what you're talking about, because if you don't know what you're talking about and you feel like you're just bullshitting people, it's a horrible place to be.
Absolutely.
And in our industry, there's a lot of that. And
Yeah, well.
Josh and I came from a big company. Salesmen to talk about internet, and it was just creepy, and that's kind of why we separated from that and started this. And I'm all about customer service. Something, and so sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. If you have more wins than losses, that's a good thing.
Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So
Yeah.
hey, listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Anytime.
That was awesome. I have a little gift for you.
Oh my God!
This, and I think
I love gifts.
I think you're gonna love this, and I think that
Oh.
everybody in the plumbing and HVAC or any service business should buy this book, and you can get it on Amazon. I don't know if you're familiar with Shep Hyken.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shep Hyken's the customer service
Yeah.
guru, but this is a fantastic story. It's called The Loyal Customer, a lesson from a cab driver, and he says right here, it's not a book, it's a lesson.
Nice.
And when you read this, and I give these to my account managers when we hire them on, and every one of them has read this, and it's a story that changed the way I look at the way we serve our customers, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it, and I
Cool.
think you're going to really relate to it.
I definitely will. Is this a plug for Shep? No.
No, not a plug for Shep. So hey, thanks for coming on the show. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime.
Hey, thanks.
And thank you all for tuning in today. And we're really excited about the show. We think we're getting good information out there for everybody. Next week, we're doing an interview in-house with our PPC department, and we're going to really go in-depth on the numbers and PPC and how it can help your business, and if you're not using it, why you should. So thank you all for taking time to spend with us today.
Can we do one more thing
Go ahead.
before we sign out?
Sure.
Can we just give a big awesome sauce and a peace out, please?
Awesome sauce, and peace out.
Awesome sauce! Peace out!
See ya. Thank you, Kirsten, for running the board. Thank you, everyone, for watching the show. Thank you, Joe, for joining us. And we will see you all in a very short time.
I can't believe he said awesome sauce.